Wendy Hunter, and I'm the pediatrician next door. I'm that doctor friend you call for practical advice about your kids' health. I mix the science of medicine with the reality of parenting. Imagine you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet. If someone just keeps shoveling food onto your plate without giving you a chance to taste it, you'd be like, whoa, slow down. Babies can feel the same way when they are feeding from a bottle. That's where this method called paced bottle feeding comes in. Think of it as the fine art of dining for babies. There's no rush, no pressure, just a chill eating experience. Instead of holding the bottle like a gas pump, we tilt it horizontally so the milk doesn't flood their tiny mouths like a fire hose. Babies get to take breaks, they can taste their meal, and even decide if they want more. Paced bottle feeding also prevents that milk hangover from drinking too fast, which can cause spit up or gas. No one wants a cranky, gassy baby. Plus, it mimics breastfeeding, helping babies switch between bottle and breast more easily. It's like being a pro at using both a fork and chopsticks. Lots of moms have to go to work and can't feed their baby at the breast. So think of it like this. Don't stress if your baby has to breast and bottle feed, although I honestly do find chopsticks more challenging. Expert lactation scientist Shelby Abramson shares her tips on this method. Here's what we talked about.
If you were to watch baby at the breast, babies latch on, they take a few sucks, and that's what starts the milk flowing. And then you'll see them sucking, swallow, pause. They might pause for a moment or two. They'll often self-start with those sucks again. And so rather than thinking about like a garden hose in somebody's mouth where it's just continuously dropping into them, you think about breastfeeding as a really nice meal. We might gather and sit as friends and have different courses in that meal. We might have dessert. And I think about breastfeeding like that as well, where it's very self-paced by the baby. And in certain instances, maybe the baby is premature, so they don't have as much stamina to continue those self starts, or a baby, as I mentioned, who's jaundiced or who's underweight and not as organized to come and do the work of breastfeeding, then they might not be as great at self pacing. And it might be appropriate to give them a bottle of mom's pumped milk or a formula. And what I recommend is to mimic as much of breastfeeding as you can with all bottles. And that could be too for a baby who's exclusively bottle fed. A parent only wants to give bottles, whether that be with formula or breast milk. And I still recommend pacing the feeds because there's so many things of direct breastfeeding that you can't replicate with bottles, but there are many things that you can. And so switching baby from one arm to the other, so meaning that I'm right-handed, for example, and I often want to hold a baby in my left arm, hold the bottle in my right hand. But one of the benefits of breastfeeding, right, is that right and left brain, the two hemisphere connection, and that crossover when baby looks from one side up to their loving parent and across the midline of their body. And so you can do half of a bottle in one arm, take a break, take a pause, put that bottle down, switch that baby over to the other arm for the second half, much like they would do naturally with breastfeeding, because as any breastfeeding mom knows, if you're only nursing from one side, you literally feel lopsided, and that can be uncomfortable. So pacing a feed is oftentimes putting a bottle into the baby's mouth without milk in the nipple yet. So you're essentially kind of tilting the bottle in the opposite way that you might expect, where the milk is at the bottom of the bottle, the nipple is up higher and in the baby's mouth. Baby's sucking on actually a little bit of air to start. And parents always are concerned, is that going to make my baby gassy? Is that going to make my baby spitty? Is that going to make my baby burp a lot? But you could try to swallow air right now and it's challenging to do. So giving a few sucks on just the empty bottle nipple to start the feed, then slowly bringing that milk into the bottle nipple and into baby's mouth can more mimic breastfeeding. And when that baby swallows the milk, without removing the bottle, you can simply just tilt it back down so the baby can breathe, breathe, breathe. And then when you have those sucks, re-engage that milk into the bottle nipple. So a paced bottle feed is just a baby-friendly bottle feed. And it's just like you and I might sit down and eat a meal together where we pause and we chat and we digest and then we take another bite of food. It's sort of mimicking that. And I really love the loving relationship that can come with any caregiver, whether that's a dad, another mom, a grandparent, a daycare provider, and bond with baby through feeding.
So, next time you're feeding your little one, remember to let them savor their meal. Even young babies deserve a gourmet dining experience. If you want more instruction on this method, check out the YouTube video by The Milk Mob. The link is in the show notes. For more from the Pediatrician Next Door, find me on the web at pediatriciannextdoorpodcast.com. If you've got a question about the weird things kids do, send an email to hello@pediatriciannextdoorpodcast.com for a chance to hear your voice on the show. I'm Dr. Wendy Hunter, and I'm the Pediatrician Next Door. This show is produced by Red Rock Music. Make sure to subscribe and leave a review wherever it is you're listening. I'll be back next time with more.